This is No Baddies Left Behind. I'm Kat,
And I'm Kaelin.
and welcome to the first technical episode. And this is just more of an intro episode of ours,
Yes.
where you guys get to know us, and we can just share a little bit about who we are. So, yes, do you want to start?
Sure. Am I going through the whole list? Like back
No,
to
we
back
can
to back?
we can bounce back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm Kaelin.
Oh, sorry. You can go to the intro if you want.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm Kaelin. The who are we?
Yeah.
No,
Or
the how we
just,
met?
Sorry, the bullet points. Sorry, it's all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Kaelin.
We're still figuring it out. It's okay.
I'm 24 and I'm from California, Southern California. More specifically, like LA area. I would say, like, with no traffic, probably like 20 minutes south of LA. Hobbies. I have been really into golfing lately. I golf every week. Did not go to waste management this year, but I heard it was a disaster anyway, so that's probably a good thing. I also surf. Haven't been in a while because it's been cold, but once it warms up a little bit, then I'll get back into it. In 5 years, hopefully I'll be done with school, have my bachelor's finally, and hopefully working a job that I actually enjoy. And my biggest dream in life is to live on a farm with some goats and pigs.
Sorry, that one kind of took me out of left field. I totally okay.
That's my dream. I just want to live, preferably a farm near a beach so that I can
Okay.
surf and just have the best of both worlds with my animals. But I also, here's the thing, don't want to take care of those animals. I just think they're
Yeah.
cute. I want to
Yes.
enjoy their presence, but I don't want to wake up at the butt crack of dawn to feed them,
Yeah.
you know?
And to clean up after them.
Right. But that's my dream.
Okay. Period. So just to preface, I forgot to mention we made a list. Me and Kayla made a list because we mentioned it's kind of hard to talk about ourselves, as anyone can agree, like during a job interview. So we made a list to be specific about ourselves, so we have things to share. But anyway, I'm Kat, and I'm 26 years old. I'm from California, from Southern California. I actually grew up in the area that Kaylin lives in, but when I was like 9 or like eight, I moved to Orange County, and that's where I've been for the rest of now till now. Some hobbies that I've gone into, I hit my quarter life crisis for sure, so I found a lot more of things that I'm into, and I like reading. I love playing Sims. That's something Kaylin and I both are obsessed with. I love, what else? I love making coffee. I know that's okay, bitch, a hobby, but I just love coffee, matcha. It's just my vibe. But I can't think of it. I like hanging with my kids, which I'm also a mom, which is another fun fact about me. I was a teen mom, but where I see myself in 5 years, same as you, bitch. I hope I'm done with school.
It's a
This
long
feels
journey.
like nursing majors to get our bachelor's, and the road feels never ending. I don't know about you, but it genuinely feels never ending, but we're almost there. But I do hope to see myself with a bachelor's degree. You never know, maybe more than that, but working and hopefully in a stable relationship.
I think we all hope for that, on the back
Yes.
burner. It's not our number one priority, but
Exactly.
we
The
hope
back burner.
it comes along.
Yeah. exactly. Because my kids are going to be like, what? Like 11 and 10, which is like, sounds crazy to say out loud, but you know, so yeah. But then my dream in life is to just, the first thing I think of is just being the best mom that I could be to my kids and just being fully involved in watching them grow. And I honestly love where I live. And I feel like this is where, because my kids are going to the schools that I went to. And it's just different seeing them go to my elementary school. And like, I love that they're growing up where I grew up. And so I love that I can give them that and I can experience, like, they're going through the same experiences as me. Well, as far as the area goes. But I hope to, you know, just stay here, watch my kids grow and have a happy family. And I just want my kids to be happy. And for me. But yeah.
I love that.
Yes. So also, hopefully I'm not saying too much, because I always try to like watch myself to not say and like too much. So hopefully that ends right now. But anyway, so yes, that's a little bit about me and Kaelin. Now, us, our friendship, how we met. You tell the story.
Okay, so we met in school. We are both LVNs right now, so we met in our LVN program. I joined in a little bit later, so they kind of already had established friend groups within their cohort. Me and one of our other friends joined in a little bit towards the end of their program term. But we ended up having clinicals together. We had theory and clinicals together. And so I think at clinicals is where we really started to bond.
Yeah.
Those 4 a.m. wake up calls to make it all the way to Riverside. Wild. Very intense
totally.
stuff. So I feel like just that alone, we all really bonded together, like as a group. But I think for me and Kat, I was in this like phase of my life where I had this hyper fixation on cauliflower. All things cauliflower.
Oh no,
Cauliflower
story.
pasta, cauliflower pasta sauce, cauliflower chips. And I had these cauliflower chips, and they were the ones, there's like a puff kind of chip, and then there's the cauliflower chip where it's the actual cauliflower head, and they just basically baked that, threw some salt on it, and put it in a bag. I had those. I think those are really good. I like the taste of cauliflower. Most people think there's just like no flavor to it, but I like it. And I, every single day at clinicals, offered Kat my cauliflower chips. And some days it was the puffs, and some days it was the actual cauliflower. And I think that is how we really like got closer, was because you did not like the cauliflower chip.
No, I was like, listen, girl, don't offer me those again. Don't offer me that piece of rock again. You're like, no, it's good. I was like, I'm sure it is to someone, but not
to
this
me.
rock, not this girl. Yeah. And Linda, Kaylin's mom. But yes, that is probably like one of the. It's a lot funnier like when we went through it. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you hated it. And I was like, listen, girl, I don't hate it. It's just, but yeah. And then ever since then, we just got closer. We've been friends. That was like almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think about how like cauliflower is what brought us together, because sitting in our pre-facility and just looking around that first day and like looking at everyone, like I was so intimidated by you. Like I was so scared to talk to you. Yes.
You're lying.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I forgot to mention, our first impressions. That's crazy. Oh, yeah. That's crazy. No, I feel like I get that a lot, and I don't think that I'm just like a teddy bear. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I look scary, but I'm not.
No, it's like that TikTok that's like, looks like a cinnamon roll, is a cinnamon roll, looks like they could kill you, is a cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon roll, yeah.
That's Kat.
Stop. No, but my first impression of you, I remember the day that you walked into that class. It was like, what, the first day of pre-facility, right? And for those that are listening, pre-facility is basically just like the classes on campus that prepare us for our clinical sites. And so those people that are in our class, they're not even guaranteed to be with us at our sites. So when I first met Kaelin, I was just like, oh, who is this girl? Because you usually will get people that come to join you, who pick up from where they left off, but it didn't happen that often for us. Now that I
Or
say
there's
it,
some
like
people who were making up days, like if they had
yes,
missed days.
just to make up the days. But Kaelin was joining our cohort, and I was just like, who is this girl? She's so quiet. You didn't seem standoffish, but just a little bit. But I just knew because you were shy. Because I feel like that's a majority of people who are shy, is they come off like they are mean or they don't want to talk to anyone. But really, it's like they're just shy. But you mentioned, you were like, I'm not here to make friends.
Yeah.
When you came back. I was like,
Because initially, my original cohort was very cliquey. Like, we had the cohort as a whole, and then within the cohort, there were all these different groups of friends who really kind of stuck together. And that was a big thing that I noticed coming back, was your cohort was very all-inclusive, very supportive. Everyone talked to everyone, you know? And so when I was coming back from the mindset of being in that original cohort and having to kind of fend for myself up until the very end. And so when I came back, I was like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to focus on getting through school, doing well, and just, you know, getting to where I'm trying to end up at. But I'm so glad that I decided to make friends.
But you were a little bit more like, it took you a while to make it out of the school setting, I think, before you really started hanging out with us.
Yeah.
But you were taken at the time. But it's another story for another day.
Yeah.
He is no longer around. Thank the Lord.
On to the next.
Yeah, on to the next period. That's another story for another episode. But yeah, I knew that whenever, for me at least, whenever people are really shy, there's just something about shy people that makes me want to break that shell. And so that's what I felt with you. I was like, I know I can break her shell, just gonna take some time. But she's willing to be there. And during clinicals, me and Kaelin really, we bonded.
I think the day when I really kind of let my walls down was that one day in Riverside when we were doing our OB clinicals, and I was doing that TikTok dance, and then our instructor started talking to us as I was mid TikTok dance, and I didn't stop the dance. I just kept going, you know. But if that had been that first day,
everyone stopped.
Yeah.
And Kaelin is just dancing, and everyone just was like,
okay, but to be fair, when you wake up at 4 a.m. and you're at clinicals for 12 hours and it's like 90 degrees in Riverside, that was the one thing keeping me going, was listening to like those TikTok songs or like doing those TikTok dances or thinking of TikToks to do. Like, that is what was getting me through the day. And so when she started talking, I was like, okay, I can still hear you. I'm multitasking. I'm just focused on finishing this video, you know?
Yes. Yeah. But, and also I forgot to mention, I feel like when me and you really bonded is when we first shared our experience giving birth to a baby. That was, I think, was when I really opened up with you, because as soon as I walked out, I just started crying. Because let's just open about it now. I, like I said, was a single mom. So my experience with my baby daddy, which again, we'll talk about another day, but it's just not the best. And also the birthing experience wasn't the best. Not that it was physically intensive, it was just the emotional aspect behind it was really, really hard for me. So when I had to kind of relive that moment of giving birth and like watching the couple, it was really, really hard for me. But it was also like, I'm not the patient. We were taking care of her, and they really had us be so involved, which was so amazing. And I don't think anyone can really say that they experienced that as a student. So I think, but I was also with you, and I was just like, and I feel like sometimes like in nursing, like people can really be every man for themselves. But I was like, no, experience this with me, because I think me and you were the only ones on the floor that day. So I was like, no,
Yeah.
come with me. Like, can my friend like experience this too?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
didn't give a damn if that room was small. I was like, come help me, because I don't want to do it by myself.
Yeah.
And face all these experienced, like, seasoned nurses by myself. But yeah, I think that was when we
It
really
is
opened up with each other.
it is intense in there, let me tell you.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
people are giving birth, it is like
A rush.
wild. People are yelling things. I was throwing things across the room, you know.
Yes. They were throwing stuff at us.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
And
to
I
give
will
you?
say, I think the reason I'm like so glad that experience was such a beautiful one for you. When I was going into nursing, I always thought I wanted to be an L&D nurse. And after that experience,
You're like, I'm good.
I don't even know if I want to give birth, you know? And that is scary.
Assisting is enough. Assisting
Yeah.
is enough. You can do that all day, every day. Do it 3 times a day, and you're good.
Yeah.
But yes, so, but I still can't believe we've been friends for like 2 years, and that's crazy. I feel like we just finished our program like last year.
It does. It feels like no time has passed, but it
No.
also feels like I've known you like my
The
whole
world
life.
has passed. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But also, I made an outline for me and Kaelin, but I feel like the type of friends that Kaelin and I are, I don't have a lot of friends who have gone or experienced therapy, but Kaelin and I have both been through therapy for, I feel like, a similar amount of time. And whenever I'd have problems, I'd always call Kaelin, and I'd be like, listen, Queen, I'm calling you because I need a therapeutic response, and I just need therapeutic words. And I feel like that's something that Kaelin and I bond over, is just therapy and being able to communicate with each other. You just know we've had therapy. Like, that's just how we bond. Is like we have boundaries. Even like I've mentioned this to you before, like whenever you need time to be by yourself, listen, I'm an all-dayer friend. Okay, I love being around my friends all day, every day. Kaelin is a little bit more, she needs her time. She literally needs to like leave and be in her own bed, in her own space. And I'll beg her, you can stay here. You don't need to leave so late at night when we go out. But she's like, no, I want to be in my bed. And she'll literally drive a 20-minute drive to just take off her makeup and be in bed. Which I love that for you, though.
Yeah. But you know, the makeup thing, it's a serious thing, okay? We gotta protect our skin, take care of our skin,
I need to work on that, 'cause
especially
I sleep in
after
this. I sleep
a
in
night
this.
out drinking.
I hate to admit
Your
it.
pores are screaming for help right now.
Thank you, Queen. Thanks, bitch. Thank you. They know. I know they do. I hear them calling my name. But anyway, I also, like I mentioned, I feel like you're my safe friend. You're my safe friend for sure. Kaelin is someone that I can open up to, and like, I just know she has my back. Like, if we're going out, like, if I don't want to go do something, you don't even ask twice. You're just like, all right, let's go. You jump, I jump. Come on, let's go. Let's go figure it out together. You don't want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell them right now. You know what I mean? And I also feel like for me, we forgot to mention it. I feel like our friendship too is that really the relationship that I talked about, like Lion and the Mouse? Or what's that thing? Elephant and the Mouse? Where it's just like, I am a giant, first of all. Like, me and Kaelin are like, there's not a huge height difference between us. I am bigger than Kaelin, first of all. And also, I'm just more of like an outspoken person in comparison to Kaelin. So don't fuck with her just because no, you know what I mean? But then I'm also very sensitive. So like, Kaylin's good about like, you know, keeping in tune of our emotions for our both ends. But
yeah.
I'm just a little bit, you would never think, we talk about that, like you would never think that we were friends. I mean, I'm sure people do. Okay, but I'm just saying, it's just like, you two are friends? Are you sure? Yes, we are.
I think it's mostly like based off personality. It's kind of unexpected, but I also think that a lot of the time people don't really know kind of the real me like you guys do, just because I am shy and it takes a lot for me to open up to someone and to like let people see that side of me. And so I feel like on the outside looking in, if you didn't know both of us, then it would seem like very unexpected for us to be friends. But knowing both of us, I feel like it makes sense. It works.
No, yeah, that's why I was, when Kaelin was like, we should make a podcast together, I was like, listen, girl, when I lose my train of thought, there are some friends and people out there that like help you regain your train of thought. But listen, when I forget what I'm talking about, Kaelin forgets what she's talking about, and I'm like, oh girl, there's no helping you because I don't even remember. You know, like literally, it's like we both have the mind of like a what is Arlene use? Like our friend Arlene, I forget, a guppy. Like we both kind of have guppy brains a little bit, but that's just the best of us. Okay,
I will lose my train of thought mid-sentence. Mid-sentence, I would be like, I can't remember what my point was.
No. And then we're like, I don't remember either. But anyway, so like, let's talk about something else.
Or no, or we'll
and then
be like,
remember.
Yeah, or we'll be like, on a side note, and then go on like an hour-long tangent of this side note, and then after an hour, be like, oh yeah, so originally we were talking about this.
No, we're like, we break sentence, and we're like, actually, I remember what I was going to say like 5 minutes ago, so back to that. Back to that. Let's talk about that again.
But it works. Okay. It works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yes, so why did we choose to make a podcast with each other?
I feel like we both individually and together have lived through so many different experiences. And like, I don't necessarily mean all the bad ones. I think because there's a lot of them. Yeah. But, you know, I think we both have experienced so much emotionally and also just in life, and we're both still so young, but I feel like because of everything that we've been through, both good and bad, and because of therapy, we've kind of learned how to deal with a lot of different situations in a different way in regards to people our age. I feel like we can take a look at a situation and look at it from different perspectives and really try to understand kind of underlying meanings or what it could mean to someone else and what it really means to us. And, you know, how if we're feeling angry in the moment, what does that really mean? You know what I mean? And so I feel like in doing a podcast like this, we're able to share our experiences. We're able to share how we grew from certain situations, how we learned from certain situations. And I feel like that's always kind of where the best advice comes from, is if you're talking to someone who has also been through it and who also kind of understands that same type of hurt or trauma, or if it's, you know, even a really happy moment, if it's somebody who has gone through something that was really like life-changing for them. Sometimes it does help to talk to somebody who understands those feelings that you're feeling and understands how to navigate them. And I feel like this podcast can be really helpful for a lot of people who may be in the same situation. Because I remember during a lot of situations, I would sit back and think that I was alone in them or that nobody else would understand them. And so I feel like with this podcast, it'll help people feel like they have a support system, like they have a community of people who understand what they're going through and who can help them through it, if that makes sense.
That was so good. Did you practice that? Like, did you write an outline for that? That was good.
I wrote a script beforehand.
Stop. I think it's good. And I feel like you said, we have bonded a lot over similar experiences. And I feel like I've said this before, like I think that we understand each other's boundaries. And I feel like we do a good job at really being in tune with our emotions while still being a good friend, because I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that, you know what, that sometimes you can be a good friend while you input what you're feeling and what you're thinking. But I think that with you, it's different. I feel like I've been able to experience a friendship, like an adult friendship. And I feel like in our 20s now, that's hard. It's hard to be a good friend sometimes while you're in this stage where you are selfish, and it's okay to be that way. But I feel like with us, we respect boundaries, and while being good friends, we respect each other, and that we trust that, something like this can work. And even when you brought it up to me, you're like, we should do a podcast. I'm like, oh wow. I brought that up to you. I brought that up to you before, and you're like, I don't know, Kat, like, I forgot what you said. I feel like it was along the lines of like, I just don't think that I would know what to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's just talking off the fly, basically. But I mean, I think that I feel like there's no other better person, because sometimes, again, it's a safety thing, like with how we treat each other. I feel like it's the best thing. But like you mentioned, which was another thing we want to talk about, what our podcast is about. I feel like being in our 20s now, I feel like 23, I don't know about you, was one of like the worst ages for me, because you're in between 21 and 25, and
I'm 24 now.
yeah, that's why I'm like, we're past it now, so it's okay. But I think that we, as 20-something-year-olds, have gone through a fair share of being in our 20s, and I think that it's hard to navigate your 20s. And I remember being in the deep, dark pit, and I was just like, I need to listen to a podcast to someone that's been through something along the same lines. And like I mentioned, I was a teen mom, and I remember just being in the slums, bitch, just deep in those dark trenches, in tears, in my lowest of all lows. And I never, ever want someone to feel like they're alone, like you mentioned. Like, I think that really, because experiences to us are so foreign, and because they're our firsts, we forget that other people have gone through it. And like you said, it's when you speak from experience, it comes from a different place. And that's what makes people wise, is going through hardships and being able to make it out. So I feel like the topics that we're going to be talking about comes from a different place. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what our podcast is about, is just navigating together, sharing stories and laughing. And, especially as women and young, in our 20 somethings. And I feel like we can really connect with different kinds of women. It's not just 21-year-olds, like we're like fresh in our 20s.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what a good little gist of our podcast is about.
I think
Sharing
also
stories and advice.
to piggyback off of that, I feel like going into 2024, we were both kind of like, this is our year, the energy around this year feels different. Things are going to change. Things are going to be happening for the better. And I feel like we're both really focused on our healing and our growth and our health and our happiness. And I feel like starting this podcast is a great way to kind of cement those things into our lives, and to reel in the new year, and to help other people kind of find that too.
Yes. And even I will say, Kaelin, because Kaelin and I both went to the same, I was about to say the college, bitch. We obviously went to the same program, but like after we graduated, we went to the same community college, same semester. We had like similar schedules, and we would go to school together and study together, whatever. I feel like we were struggling for a second to really just with motivation and our jobs and romantically and just ourselves. We were shaking on our boots a little bit. But I feel like us together, even though we knew what we were going through, we both knew 2024, there's something in the air of 2024. And I think it's for everyone. And I've been listening to so many podcasts. Really, I genuinely think that it's going to be a good year for everyone, not just us. I just think it's
I went to a psychic. She said it was going to be a
Oh,
good
yes.
year. So,
Oh, did she really? You didn't tell me that part.
yeah. Well, she said, within the next 3 years. So, 2024 is within the next 3 years. So, it has to be a good year,
2024 or 2025 or 2026? No,
Yeah.
and 2027.
No,
Those are the
2026.
okay, those are the years within those what she was talking about. Okay,
Mhm.
period.
But it starts
It's one
with
of those.
2024.
Exactly. So you never know. I feel like I remember whenever I would talk to my aunts and stuff, they'd always be like, "Ah, I remember that year. What a golden year." You know what I mean? Or like a certain period of like the 80s specifically, because my mom and dad were, what is that? Gen X. They just loved it, So I feel like this is coming for us. I genuinely think so. And starting the podcast is, like you said, starting to cement that idea.
I hope so, because I've been seeing some TikToks about the leap year, because this year is the leap year, and how on
Oh, okay.
every leap year something bad happens. Like last leap year was when we went into quarantine in 2020. And
What's
then
happening
like
now?
back in the early 2000s, I think it was like the housing crisis or something like that happened during the leap year.
Well, this is
So
the
I'm
leap year
like,
that it ends.
right.
This is the leap year
Year.
that
It's
shit
more
ends.
positive.
Yes, exactly. Now that you say that, I'm like, oh shit, that's true. But
Hmm.
what about those leap years in between? Okay, I'm just saying. But I think this is a good year, and this is a good thing for us to do. I think it's therapy for others and also for us.
Hmm.
But yes,
And it's
a little
also
bit
just
about this.
our
Yeah.
little place for us to feel no judgment, for us to talk about certain things and joke about certain things and just have fun. I feel like,
Yeah.
yes, we intend for this to be very healing and helpful for other people, but I think also it's a place for people to kind of come and unwind and just
Absolutely.
listen and
Yeah.
just enjoy, you know. I wouldn't say I'm funny. Cat's funny. Cat
No,
has got some
you're
good
funny, bitch.
jokes.
No,
Cat's got some
I
good
can
jokes.
never stop.
But just to kind of like, have a little fun with life.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as we get older,
Things get
it's kind of
hard.
taken away. Yeah, you get
Yes.
so wrapped up in adulting and doing adult
Yes.
things. And so it's also a place for us to kind of just be a little crazy. Because why not?
Yeah. You know what's funny? I feel like in our Instagram, which is what's our Instagram? It's No Baddies Left Behind.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like from what it looks like or what we were planning for it to look like, it almost looks like you said, unhinged and story times and whatever. But I feel like us and our conversations, that's like kind of the least of what it is. It's very like we're like, oh, let's just heal and let's see the greater side of it.
Yeah.
That's how we are the most of the time. But you know what? We went through something
Yeah.
today, or I did. So it's like it's whatever. But I feel like that's our conversation. It's very like we can share some advice, and I feel like some people need calmness after a storm.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's kind of what this is playing out to be. So,
Yeah. I also feel like it's very similar to conversations that we have just every day, where
Yeah.
we'll have a conversation that'll start out talking about something that's a little bit heavier, something that's a little bit more serious, and then we'll just be laughing. Just randomly we'll just start, cracking jokes and like talking about funny situations, and then we go back to, the more heavy stuff and talking through the heavy stuff, and then we laugh, and so I feel like this is kind of an extension of conversations that are just normal to us, where we kind of combine that humor with things that are a little bit tougher to get through.
Yeah. Get that shit, queen. That was good. That was good. Stop it right now. I can't. It's hard for me to talk about things. What? You're talking off the fly right now, bitch. That was good. That was good.
It feels like we're on FaceTime, I'm in my
No,
bed,
literally, when we're
and
yes,
cozy.
yes,
It's
yeah.
like I can see you in the video. It's like no one else
Literally
is
like
around.
FaceTiming, bitch. Literally.
Basically, yeah.
It literally is. But yes, I think that's a wrap on our intro episode. That was okay. I'm proud of us.
That was really good. That was long.
I know, right?
We were worried it's going to be too
We're
short.
dedicated.
We are.
I know.
Our conversations, we lose track of time when we talk. We'll be talking for like 2 hours, and I'll be like, oh my God, it feels like
Literally.
5 minutes.
Literally. But here we are. But yes, I think that's a wrap on the first episode, the intro episode of Who Are We? This is us. We are she. And yeah. Yes. So Kaelin and I think Mondays are the days that we're going to be uploading, and we are still, navigating on how, so far Spotify for sure, but I do want to like send it out to like Apple Music, bitch, Apple Podcast, right? Yeah, bitch. But anyways, for sure Mondays on Spotify. So yes, our Instagram.
No Baddies Left Behind. We also have a
Pretty
TikTok
much for everything.
and a YouTube.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Also,
Oh,
all under the same name.
Yes. Yes. No Baddies Left Behind.
Check it out. Check it out.
Okay. Well, that's a wrap. And we'll talk to you guys in our next episode. Hold on. How do you do this? How do you end it? How do you stop? Oh, there we go.